dying to believe, hitting up your show. Everything is lost, everything is found. Nothing seems to ground you, everything is gone. Here I am. Again. know. Let go, some words unseen arrive. On fire, turn up the light. Let go, some words unseen arrive. On fire, turn up the light. And I see how heavy your satellite. All I'm gonna hear is if I'm not big. And I see how the one should follow light. And I say to Mary, oh, for sweet, oh, for sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. Oh, it's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. Oh. Let it go, some words unseen arrive. On fire, turn up the light. Let it go, some words unseen arrive. On fire, turn up the light. And I see how heavy your satellite. I'm ready to fly, but there's nobody here. And I see how the one should fall by. And I say to myself, oh, for this heartbeat, oh, for this sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. Oh, it's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. I'm clasping up on the door. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. Glass of cupboard. It's in the love, sweet. It's in the love, sweet. Your way. It's in the love, sweet. I'm clasping up on. It's in the love, never be. It's in the love, never be.
Hello and welcome to the Hunz music stream where I'm trying to create an album in 28 days. It's going well. I'm really tired, but I did have an awesome dinner with my wife tonight and that was really lovely to just take a little bit of a break. But it's now 9 PM, so I'm doing this thing where I'm just gonna go as long as I can, and if I fall asleep, which has happened once on Twitch, I saw a guy fall asleep, then just let me know somehow, or just watch me. I don't know how that's gonna work. Yeah, I think that's really about it. I'm just checking. Oh, we had a follow. Let's trigger that off. Hello Koo, thank you so much for the follow if you watch this stream later. That was a personal greeting. Thank you. And I think that's about it. Well, I think we should get started. I actually was listening to a couple of tracks today from the tracks we did yesterday, and what I really want to do is just quickly edit some ideas into these tracks. I'll be as concise as I can and talk you through what I'm doing, but also at the same time I just really want to get it done. And then I'll try and yeah, we'll just take it from there. Right, let's get started. Hope everyone's doing alright this morning, this evening, this afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is pretty rad. It's absurdly amazing, to be honest. Okay, so we've got track. Just looking for dates now. 21st, we did song 2. Alright, I'm gonna load this up and see if this is one. I should have kind of written that down. Wow, it's taking a while to load. You can do it! I'm just gonna press play on this, and if it's the wrong song, I'll just quickly turn it off. We'll go to the next one. But I'm pretty sure there'll be something in here that I really want to just quickly put in place. I'm just gonna turn it down a bit. Okay, I'm just going to quickly fast forward through this just to see where this bit is. Okay, happy with that. And then we've got this part. Okay. This fades off, happy with this. Okay. Alright, that, until we get the vocals in place, I'm really happy with that. Alright, moving on. We've got the 21st. What am I looking for? 22nd, 21st. So the 20th is the other one. Let's open this one up. Every moment you're away. Okay, just play through this. Just gonna fast forward through it.
To give, to know, to holler, to grow, to give.
Alright, through that, I think the drums kick in here. Cool.
Try to let go, and you might not let you. It's taking a hold now, and you can't open your eyes.
Okay. My apologies again, I'm rushing through this to find the parts that I was hearing in my head. Jinx coming in with the was humming song 16 last night. It's really cool, man.
Taking a hold on, you compromise.
Love that variation. This is not the song either. Okay, song 6. Let's see if this was one. Oh my goodness. Should have written it down. It's just like one component where I'm like, oh, I really just want to put a string or something in there. Oh, this might be it. Let me just check. Yeah, it is this. Okay, it's this bit. It just gets really like I really need to commit to something here. At the moment it just feels like it's repeating verse 1 again, and there's nothing wrong with that, but one of the things that I wanted to do is create more interest or subtlety through all these little bits of that little howl. So one thing that I'll do first is just have a look at how this bass is getting damaged. Cool. So I'm going to put a adjust this little low pass filter on this. First thing you need to do is kind of the track before it, just stamp it where it's at so you don't lose that moment, and then this one will just pull all the way down. One little handy thing here is this inertia. Just wind it back a little bit. That'll just kind of, when it gets this new information in, it takes that inertia and it utilizes that speed to get there, so it makes it smoother. I think at this bit I just want to place a like kind of a string part through here. So the best way that I can do this, and I won't create anything new, I just want to reuse a tone that's already in there. So let's just have a listen through this part of it. So you can hear that the bass has been left in that tone. So I'm just gonna make sure that this that I recorded here makes its way all the way to the end here. Just as a little setup. Add another command channel, don't want to overwrite that information. Is that correct? It is. Okay, great. Let's go down here. It's got a lot of strings. And I really want to keep that. I do a lot of single note instrumentation, so I think this song needs to vibe out differently. Okay. Well, let's have a play with this then. This is that main channel. So I'll keep this pretty simple. I will note these down, but I'll do it over a slower, note these down, sorry, volume effect them down, but I'll do it slowly so it's going to decay over time. Turn the volume up on that a little bit. It's so funny. Let's not do the stabby note thing. I do that a lot. Proceeds to put stabby notes through this next section. It won't be. We'll tidy this up. Do slow. I think I want to go down to that note. I'm going to raise that up too. Hold that. And then we'll repeat that again, but with a different variation on the melody. And I'll drop that. Try this. I want that to go up, so I'm going to do the C on there. D. Then I'm going to bring this hi-hat movement up just here. We'll bring this down this way, and then I'm going to start like really pulling the analog filter a lot stronger to the point where it's going to be so subby that we won't hear it anymore. And I think that'll be a nice kind of way to close the track down before it explodes into the Here I Am. Do you know what I think we're missing from this? Is the arpeggiated moments, am I right? Huh. What happened to you, buddy? Oh, well, that's really disappointing. So let's go back to this. I'm sure there was one other little thing in this that I've forgotten about. So this is where the filter was. Let's get that in place. Yeah. And there's some stabby bits. I feel like this might be higher up, so let's just roll this up. It's definitely more muted. To go back to one of my recordings to see. That's better. I think I might get rid of these other notes that are here then. Oh, my bad. that in there. Let's just leave that a bit quirky. And same thing, but I'm going to lower these notes down. I think that's the wrong note, but I'm gonna hear it. Oh, I like that. So cut all of this out, all of these guys out. Now we'll mess quickly with the bass tone. Where are you? Record this down here. There's so many different ways to do this. I choose to do this all through command work. Other people prefer to use this beautiful automation. There is no wrong or right way. Just go with your heart. So I really want to empty this room out at this point, so this next build up just feels a lot stronger. So we'll do 1A there, and I'm going to totally turn this all the way down to 0, and we'll fix that up in EQing later. Ooh, no, what are you doing? I'm just going to try something where I'm going to go up the octave on this kick. Okay, I actually like that, but not for the whole thing. I'm going to just try it on this end bit, and I'm going to bring in this guy. Could be turds. Don't know till you try it. It was something. Let's just forget that happened. Sometimes that stuff just works out and you're just like, yeah, I love that. Oh, I might do this. So we tuned these out, so I'm just kind of opening up this kick. And then we'll roll this down, but I might actually do a really nice drop on this where we go the octave down and I'll glide to that note. Transpose down, and we'll make sure it hits that note at this point here, so putting GFF in there guarantees that it will go there. Well, it doesn't guarantee it, but it has the best chance to hit that note. And then we'll glide it down, G20. And then we'll make this go down probably at 4. It'll just hit it, so let's do 3. Could be terrible again. I'm just looking for something a little of interest. I think it does exactly what I was hoping it would do. Kind of creates this subtle hype drop. Sorry I used those words. just changing those few notes on that note hole just lifts this little bit. Once the lyrics are in place, we'll be set. And boom.
Here I am again. Here I am. Here I am again. Here I am.
Love how this is, like, for me, I just love how this is cruisy, but it's a really complicated kind of rhythm at the same time. It feels really nice. I think that's all I wanted to do with that, so let's just save that off. I'll just hear if there's anything else.
I love to think that I can always. I like to think that I can always. I like to think that here I am.
Just want to capture that. But there's a little like noise. What are you? You're bleeding over from this other point. So listen. That is a note carryover from somewhere else. No. It has to be this part. Might as well find this now. It's gonna drive me nuts. In times like this, I just put note off on everything because I just get so annoyed. I'm gonna just do this. Set and doing note off on everything. Why is it this? Oh, please just be that. Yeah, I think we found it. It's not that. It's not you. It's the snares. Found it. Good work. Alright, I'll save this file off. Let's call it 6-7. I should do a bounce of this. You know what, I'll flag it for later to do. Let's go back to this setup here. I'm just going to find the songs that we've done, and then we will continue this journey of song structures and lyrics. Alright, how's my tab system going? Apparently not really great. So song 6, you're done. 10, 13, 14, 15 and 16 are sitting on the edge. Song 6, the lyrics kind of haven't been solidified for it yet. Song 10, I said that was hard work, so let's open that up. this point I just cannot remember some of these tracks at the moment, so it's not until the first note kind of comes in where you're just like, oh yeah, I remember that one. It's gonna be a pretty intense week. I think I've got 6 days, 7 days. You can do it. Okay, that is a big start.
Don't stop, I'm giving you all my time. Don't
Bring up the lyrics for this.
stop, giving you all my time. Don't stop, I'm giving you all my time. Don't stop,
I don't know what that is.
you all my time. Every moment pass, and every heartbeat. Come mountains and mountains and mountains of gold.
I think they were old lyrics. Oh wow, I remember this now. Glad we're going to this song because this needs the whole song structure needs to be put in place. Like I've got all the parts, so let's get stuck into that. If there's one thing I really wanted to do is I want this mood change to be pretty massive, so I'm just going to work on that for a little bit and talk through that process. Not a big fan of this Rhodes at all. I'm going to leave it in there because it was really the root of where the song came from, but it's just not my favorite. I think I've got so many effects on there to try and control it. It's just not giving me what I want. And although this looks really erratic down here, see how I've got the inertia set to slow? It's taking its time to get down there, so it's kind of mowing the noise a little bit. Doing here is I'm just trying to find a better kind of tone for it to kind of get cut through and feel like in the right place. Just gonna check this EQ. And then what I'll do is I believe I'm running another bass body noise with this. So I'm gonna put these two together because it really is a unit. That's why this is so rolled off. Having a look at this, the bass or the lower part of it. Just exciting some of the frequencies in that area. Am I going to listen to this together? That's a really nice tone. I'm just going to listen to it in context now. It'd probably be louder than everything else because we were just so focused on it, but we'll deal with that. Just going to do some slight adjustments now that I can hear it together in the mix. It's a bit too bright. Kind of listening on my headphones, I feel like it's feeling more omnipresent. Every time. Just gonna listen to the bass tone in reference to the other components, see what I have to mess around with.
Don't stop, I'll give you all
for that to work, we will just control that a little bit. I just don't want to give away too much of how ugly that sound is. Like, so I think just cutting off all the high frequency and kind of pretending that it's a really hollow bass is going to work in its favor. I just want that next part to feel really drudgy, like there's a lot of tone and emotion, a lot of hurt, or just a really not a nice feeling. I don't want it to, apart from the way that the rhythm's kind of draggy you in. Okay, so we'll quickly command this into position there. Oh, it's already there. And then I'll place this down here, is where I think it just felt a bit hollow.
Don't stop, I gave you all my time. Don't stop, I gave you all my time. Every moment passed, every heartbeat. Come on.
Just affect it just a little bit more.
Don't stop, I keep up. Don't stop, I gave you all my time. Don't stop, I gave you all.
Might ramp this up. Oh, that's too high. Let's peak it a little bit higher than where it needs to go.
Don't stop, I gave you all my time. Every moment passed, every heartbeat. Come on, mountains go.
Alright, now track 11, you are doing some weird stuff. I think I just threw this on the other day because they changed the melody in there quite a lot. I think we'll reach this up because this is a moment where it starts opening the song out into a nicer tone. We've got here is at 30. Okay, yep. And you guys are fine. I think I'm gonna shut these off completely. Do it slowly. Mountains and mountains of gold. So I'm just gonna quickly drop the verse in straight after that. I think we'll need a little intro to get back into it. That second change up in the chorus, I fell asleep with this song in my head, and I woke up with some ideas about how to solve it. There's something about the song that I really like, but I just couldn't. It's really hard to solve stuff in a really short amount of time. And this is one of them where I'm just like, this is a hard song to solve to make it feel like it means something rather than just a bunch of music getting played at you. So this little switch up here, because we've introduced this theme in the intro of the song, which we'll play with a little bit. And this new introduction here is just so sweet. Super interesting. It feels like if you're running along, this brick wall hits you. Which is like, it's a great analogy for me because it really fits in well with coping mechanisms and stuff like that, where you may choose to fool yourself that everything is great, but the reality is that it kind of fits more in this tone where you've got this, the high notes to me are just like, I'll use the word horrifically real. Like they just kind of sit in this tone where you're just like, whoa, I need to wake up to this. And then that voice I think will treat a little bit darker and pull the tone down a little bit more, so we've got this nice thing running to it. So maybe I do play with this idea that we are like, if this is this moment of false clarity, where we're kind of fooling ourselves that everything is great, everything's fine. You know that whole meme of the it's fine and the house is on fire. I do remember that this is kind of the vibe that I was trying to bring forward in one of these songs. It's not fine, and like here comes the brick wall. And maybe we build this up even more and we hype in some more frequencies through it. Oh, this. Sorry, the other thing is time. Where is it? This here is so forced. So I'm absolutely controlling another take, which is so meaningful Like you're kind of forcing that fakeness.
'Cause you can't believe in love every moment that it takes. Every moment that will be, it's over. 'Cause you can't believe in love every moment all it takes. Every moment all of it, it's over.
Okay, let's blend through this and figure out what we can do here. I feel like we may need to do an intro, but it's going to dip that severe. So let's do a double on this, and I'll pull this up here. So I just copied that. Apparently I didn't, but that's cool. Now I should have copied it. Thank you. And we'll do intro. Nice. Maybe it'd be nice to just pull everything into that, but I reckon that's almost a bridge moment. How terrible is that snare? It's so tasty. It just feels like a death trumpet or something. Alright, let's get rid of all of this just for now. Imagine this stripped out a little bit bare. Cathedral, just pointing out a band called Anuka. If you ever get a chance to like just have some love placed into your eardrums, Anuka is a fantastic band. They are from the Ukraine, I believe, and just so on point with the art aspect. But she plays with all traditional Ukrainian instruments. I'll do this. I really wish Alexia was here, but yeah, she plays them with this really kind of quintessential end of 80s, early 90s kind of techno. It's so cool. Like, yeah, you'll either love it or hate it based on what I've just described, but if you get a chance, check out Anuka. She uses this massive Ukrainian instrument. It's like and she's just, the orchestra blows into it. It's like this, like just, that's the wrong noise. That sounds like one of those goats, but similar. Okay, I'm gonna see how the chorus fits into just that. I think I can leave it in the state. What are you doing actually? Okay, yep. Need something else, need something else. Alright, come on. Come on, brain! Let's try this. Let's kill some of these other bleeding in instruments. Alright, I rushed through that. Let me just put auto seek on this vocal line, or else jumping around won't make sense. I think that's all we need. So let's strengthen that, and then it goes straight into. It's cool how it sounds like a really slow ticking clock. I think that's another important part of the tone of this. It's a little bit of boredom, a little bit of just like the same. Alright, just gonna edit this vocal down. And let's trim off the end bit. Yeah, that's a great trim right there. I'm just gonna volume these down. It's not the final vocal take or anything because these aren't even the lyrics. But it seems too aggressive because there's so much breathing going on in there. It's gonna be quite a change up. So do this. Cool. And so the bass riding up here, I reckon we drop it down. I think that'll be a nice like connection with the next part, although we're killing the bass. Wow. Listen to that from the chorus and figure out whether I really like that unresolved tone that's hidden in there. We go Pride, welcome back. Hope you had some good Z's. I actually don't mind that, given the theme that we've kind of been discussing about, like, just this fake motivation. I swear, people are just making it hard for me to pronounce names. Your name is awesome. Sneezes. Thank you so much for the follow. Do you mind if I call you Sneeze? It's called Renoise. It is. I'll do a quick wrap up of what it is. So Renoise is based off Trackers, and Trackers was a format that was made to preserve instrumentation. So way back, when people were writing music, every single PC or different computer had MIDI instruments like loaded into the sound card. So you'd be writing all this music, and when you brought this music around to all the different computers, it would all sound kind of different, because Nintendo's flute is different from Sega's flute, and Sega's flute is different from, we'll call it the Sound Gus, which was on a PC. So the tracker format was invented to save the instruments kind of inside the MIDI format, and then from there it kind of exploded. The tracker format was used by Aphex Twin, and two really famous effects that trackers have made, probably what I'd say it's present in most music, is called sample offsetting. That's the ability to on the fly cut into samples and just play back wherever you want in that timeline. And then the other thing it does really well is retriggering, and this is something that's been around in tracker format forever. Retriggering is smashing, retriggering the note as quick as possible in between ticks. So this is a really modern version of it that this team have put together. It's called Renoise. It's like full DAW. It takes in all VSTs and VSTIs and all other stuff. So someone jumped on and was like, dude, it looks like you're coding HTML, and I really love that. Like, it does, it feels like you're just coding HTML. So over here we've got notes, and then these lines here we've got the ability to create commands, and these commands, if I come down here, you'll see where my mouse is, little cheat sheet, and we can do all of these commands. We can code all of this stuff into the sample based program. So we've got retriggering, play sample backwards, trigger sample slice, number offset, set note volume. So you've got all access to all these codes that you can just do on the fly and kind of run through that. Oh my goodness, and now I'm covering up all this information. So yeah, just all there. And I'll do this because I feel like doing it. I'm like, that's been a lesson on trackers. Thanks, Sneeze. And we'll hit back straight into write mode because I gotta get this done. Alright, and Sneeze, you've joined me doing an RPM challenge, writing 10 songs over the month of February to the point where they're ready to be mixed. Over 7 days we wrote 17 song ideas. We stripped them back to 11. And I'm currently just running through 11 songs at the moment. I'm at the point where I'm finishing up song structure and trying to get lyrics into it. So yeah. Wicked Prod asks, Hunz, did you listen to your stream from yesterday? I did not. I haven't had a chance. I think I'd mentioned yesterday, I'm a creative director for a company here in Australia. And I had such a full-on day today. Like, I literally got to work, meetings, and then straight into organizing crews to do stuff. So yeah. But Wiggo Prod, I put a liner note next to that. So Wiggo has basically said. So yesterday we're listening through to the track. It was a really lovely track, and what you're getting here is spill from my speakers into this mic, and then you're also getting playback, so there's a slight delay between how that's working. And what happened was, Wiggo pointed out, once I turned the speakers down, that sounded that the song sounded much more dead. Like, that's not a great word for it. It didn't sound as alive as it did before. So he kind of just said, hey, make sure you listen to the stream that you did, because you'll see what that live feel is like. So I can't wait to do that. I actually will go put that in as a liner note, just saying double check the stream. So when I hand it down to one of my friends in Melbourne to do the mixing, I'm going to allow her to listen to those things, and we'll kind of get an idea of whether we're going to run a mic through it. But I love that. I'm into really damaging these digital sounds, and so a lot of my VST plugins only deal with damaging sound. I'm not into I use the tracker to kind of create all the noises I need. But then I'm just really interested in things that kind of create amp or not compression, distortion, and a bunch of other little tones over it. You just hear it in this song as well. So these are scratch vocals, nothing's in place yet. Just getting song structure to a good place. The theme for this is kind of this, I guess, pretending to be happy, but it's not really like that. And so we're really trying to drive this verse idea through, where this horrific realization of this is where you're really at, and then this pretend tone in the chorus and the pre-chorus. So at this drop here, just want this to feel lazy and behind the beat, not rushed. And then at this point here, it's kind of like we're letting the listener into this kind of false realization that things get better, and they can. But in this story, I guess this is kind of like snare. And then we've got this pre-chorus, which is really uplifting. We drop into this unresolved kind of like time passing moment, and then I'm just going to kick everything back in. So this is a bit where I'm up to now. Sinise is saying you can make the kick more up front for sure. I think when we get into the mixing, which will happen next month, I've got a lot of little notes to do with that. One thing is, at the moment everything's on, and so when we'll mix it, there just needs to be a lot of clarity over where that's sitting at. Yeah, I really like Sinise was talking just about the backing vocals, where that to me is like this really nice horrific tone, but it's kind of, it just feels a bit like, you know, pay attention, be alert kind of vibe about it. And even this bass tone, it's like that really blasty trumpet kind of noise that we're kind of droning out. So I think with some really good mixing, this is going to sit really nicely. So focus on song structure now. Even just the beat. It's so lazy and it kind of just fumbles through itself. So I think the bridge is going to cut back to this as well, and I'll in a moment kind of sing something else over the top of it to elevate it to a different area. Alright, I'll stick with it. We'll do this big breathe in. I've got so much I've got so much music to get through. I've only got 7 days. So let's loop this around. We're gonna just ask, do I write with headphones? Sometimes, depends on what's going on. I really, I struggle with both, so what do I mean by that? Depends on the circumstance. I'm pretty, I've always been really shy about my production and what I do. So this is a really big exercise in trust, like, in putting this stuff out there. So I'm mixing this pretty openly. But a lot of the times previously I would just kind of mix in my headphones because I don't want anyone to hear it. So, yeah. Sunny's just said, you have a really cool vibe, man. I know this will sound risky, but you really should sink a lot of money into promotion. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, if you love it, spread the love. That's kind of how a lot of this stuff just works. And then when the right people hear it, they kind of connect with you, and they're the things that matter. At the moment, I'm just thoroughly enjoying the process, and you know, even doing this live is such a treat. Like to have people like yourself just drop in randomly, that's really cool. Like that's really cool that it doesn't happen, and you know, it is. So thanks, man. And I've got this weird synth fluty thing in here, which I'm still struggling with. It's such a demo pop scene thing to do. And if you don't know what that is, then you'll have to look it up. Look up the demo scene and look up someone like, let's go with someone like Dr. Awesome or someone like that. And it's, or another person called Radex. I've done some work with him. It is such a Radex thing to do, so we'll see how that goes. Wigo's asked, where are you from, by the way? I am from Australia. That is where I live currently. Okay, let's get rid of this. We're going to do this twice. I'm not going to create any variations at this point. Let's focus on structure. And I'm just going to bring this chorus and pre-chorus into this part. I think this is going to be okay to loop. And what I'm going to do is bring in these little chorusy phased out pads that I've got in here and try and create some sparkly high notes. What is that? You are track 11. I should name you correctly. Synth chords. Wigger Pro's like, I'll find an internship in Australia. Cinnies, that is fine, man. Thank you so much. He's saying add a portamento to the flute. It will add to the creepy vibe because of it going off key. Sorry. And he's like, sorry, I don't mean to be annoying. There will be a little thing that comes up. A bot is gonna say hello, and just tell you some things there, but it is not in direct response to what you've just written. It's just randomly coming up for people who drop in and don't understand where that process is going. But that is a really that is a really strong idea, and I will put this into these liner notes, which I have over here. In here it's called portamento as well as glide, so glide flute. I love doing that. Okay, so we've got these chords here. So I think I'm going to keep that vibe up, and I'll just explain what I'm doing here. This is a fake reverse kind of vibe that I'm going to go for here. What I'm doing here is I'm starting all of these notes off at 0, and then this command here is ramping up the volume. So it's going to do a, if you want it in more of a ADSR, which is attack decay vibe, the attack is going to be very long. So if I come back over here and we go to, well, let's use an envelope here, and I drop straight into, oh, I press the wrong one. drop straight into this editor. It's like I would be doing this to the head of the instrument, but I'm just coding that into the actual way that's going. But this has a nice curve kick, this won't. What I'm doing is a complete linear setup on it. Let's get rid of this. So I'll continue to keep putting them down, and I'll let the next ones just cut it off completely. So I'll just leave that in a loop, and I'm just going to grab the root notes from the bass and we're going to play with this a little bit. I actually don't mind the drone and the monotony of that one chord. It's not very it's not very pleasant as it moves around and creates clashes, but it speaks to the theme of the song. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll just change it up a little bit to make sure that it's feeling more in the key. What I'm doing now is I'm just adjusting single notes by semitones, and you can kind of see them changing around. And I'll start writing some notes out. We've got a D there. So I'm going to pull this one down. We're going back to E here. So I will just copy and paste that from there. I think this in itself, these subtle little changes where we're just moving one notes around in the semitone, is going to still give us the same idea of that monotony through this, but still kind of feel a bit special. I will adjust it up a full octave. I've just selected the whole thing, slide this out over here, and we go up an octave. I'm just going to hear that in the mix. I think it's going to be too much, and then we'll get some volume into it. Alright. So I'm going to pull it down, but it is giving the right effect, and I think it's that that idea that there's something more going on behind what's going on, if you know what I mean. It's it kind of has that you're in a dream state. So I think when we go to the bridge, we're really going to bring the song into focus by using this really heavy part from the verse, but we're going to sing some really truthful lyrics over the top of it, because these false, like these things that I'm circling here, I guess what I'll try and do is speak truth to it and just say, no, you've got a choice. And you can be here, and we just need to deal with all this rubbish, this heavy. And I think that'll be like a really nice tone to end in, especially for this song. And I'm speaking because this writing this music is helping me cope with all the stuff that's gone on in the past couple of years. Just dealing with life. It's great. It's great. Maybe up the octave here. Alright, I'm just gonna go straight in here. We'll collapse this straight back down into this again. We're going to create some variation through this, so don't worry too hard about it. What we're dealing with is song structure, and we want to get it down as quickly as possible so that we're still in the mood as it's kind of moving through it. because I think this is going to be really fun to just play around with. Alright, let's start playing around with this. Currently just thinking of a bunch of ideas in my head. Alright, let's start with some chords in here. So what thought process is going through my head right now is I want to create kind of this this beauty that suddenly just starts emerging from the way that it is, and it's so uncontrollably giddy that it just you know, takes those moments. Sneeze, thank you so much for dropping in. Sneezes just said, I gotta go, but keep up the good work. You're a talented artist. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Wigger Pride saying he hears a fast dreamy type ARP in the high note, but quiet. Yeah, through the whole section, evolving and transforming. I love that too. That's not what I'm doing, but that was really interesting to me. Let's just play with this a bit more. When we start building it up, we go, I definitely know that there is going to be some arpeggi overriding. So what I tend to do is I start layering and layering and layering, and I build it up way too much, and then I do that thing where you subtract everything. So that's just my preferred way. And in this case, what I start doing is I lay down chordal structures right away to understand how it's shifting and turning. I think these are going to be it's going to be a slow 4-chord progression that emerges over this whole part. I'm really excited to sing a melody, and I'm just waiting until I connect with it to see what kind of pops out. Yeah, it's such a good method. Wigo's saying, I always do that. It's such a good method because you're training yourself to subtract. And then you get to, and then when you're writing parts, you can, like what I end up doing is I dock loops of sections down here. And when I repeat a verse, and I haven't done it for this one, I'll grab sections that I've overwritten, bring it in, and pull the other components out. And you kind of, yeah, you kind of have so many choices to change it up. So everyone's like, oh, that verse is so different to that verse. But primarily, you've just grabbed different structures that you're writing with. So yeah, I really like, it's a really cool technique. Oh, I see what's happening. There's a sneaky number. I don't want that chord to be what's written there now. Oh. Maybe it is. Just gonna place some root notes in there now. Just listening through this, seeing if it's got the right vibe. Yeah, just gonna bring this part in here as a loop. Not that I'm going to keep it. I'll quickly do next. Wiggo acknowledged. He's basically saying pump the bass with the kicks as well, which is really awesome to do. What I'll do is I'll move on. I'm going to move on to another structure thing. What I tend to do with bass is I wait until the vocals are laid in and see how it shifts around it. But that's just a personal thing. Sometimes I only start with bass and drums like together and create the rhythms with it, and there's examples of that in some of the other tracks, but with this moment I think the vocals are going to be crucial to how everything shifts around it. What I'll do here is I just want to create some more tones in here as well. So let's find some other instruments that I've got going on and see what I can play with. I don't think I have anything else. I think that was it. The up. Yes! That's exactly what I'm hoping to do. Okay, what are you? What are you doing? Oh, okay, yep. We do have another instrument. I'm gonna just plot out some notes in a second and then we'll try that other idea. First of all, I get the syncopation in place. Just leave this in a loop for a second and just mess around with this. Try one weird idea on this. I'll put this over here. Just want to control the attack. Yeah, that's what I'm after. For a similar thing, I think the drums are providing such an immense amount of attack that if all of these kind of just feel like they're just shifting in, I think that'll be much better. So just ramping the volume up and then ramping the volume down right away on all of these notes. We'll be able to control them better in a second if we like what it's doing. And then I'll just the volume on the overall track. What did I do then? I just noted off the other one. Just gonna throw it down the octave a sec. Alright, I'll roll this over to the second section. I don't know if I like it down the octave, by the way. I'm just moving on. Feels dreamy, and that's everything I was hoping it would be. And then I'll add some more sections. Where are you? I'm just going to change up these notes now. I'll just going to shift this up the octave a second, just the left side instead. I actually don't mind that, but I'll quickly just scoop out the bottom end. Alright, let's follow the chords. Sorry, I have to say Scarab is back. And he's like, this reminds me of Sandstorm again. Dude, that is hilarious. You're the worst, exactly. And Scarab, thank you so much. He says, personally, I prefer making music with hardware synthesizers. Totally feel you on that. Having knobs and things, the DAW process looks painfully sophisticated and hard for me. I'm impressed by your work. Thank you so much, man. You stick with what you know, don't you, at the end of the day? One of my friends is such a hardware nut, and I look at his stuff and I'm just like, whoa, that looks complicated. But what I do love about music is, and you might agree with this, is hardware places some great limitations on you, and I think with limitations becomes just super awesome, like with what you're doing. So and in this case, my limitations are I want to hand draw on my waveforms in place, and I want to mess around with that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's very, very cool. And we're just saying tube distortion. Yeah, you can actually hear it slightly on this, and I'll tell you why in a second. We've got a bit of like here, I'll put this is a little amp on there which I normally put in, but the heat on this is, see how high this is already? It's already doing some beautiful clipping. So usually I would run this through everything, but I'll tell you another thing I'm struggling with at the moment. Look up in the top right hand corner over here. When you're streaming, it takes about 15-20% of your CPU to stream and do all this stuff. Yeah. And then we'll go back. So I've had to really limit my setup, and that's nice. Like you kind of have to work within those constraints, and one of them is I can't really push a lot of the damaging plugins because unfortunately they take a lot of CPU cycles. But we'll be innovative, and we'll definitely figure it out. Alright, let's get back to making this chords work here. I think I'm gonna draw this up instead. See if I don't want to change this too much, so let's just play with this a little bit. I might just raise this. Okay, we'll put everything on real quick. Alright, I'm gonna quickly just drop into record mode. I won't be able to chat when I'm doing this, but I'll catch up with you guys after this is all done. I'll be ad-libbing for a little while and messing around a little bit more just to kind of figure out where it's all sitting. So let's get that set up. I don't think I set this up correctly, so you're just going to experience a little bit of feedback from what I understand. We all love a bit of feedback. So let's get into that really quickly, so that's all over and done with. It worked, yay! And then let's drop this into the right vocal track. Alright. Cho. Oh, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh, yeah, oh my, oh, sitting in a, oh my, oh, sorrowful, oh, it's supposed to be under all it for. Oh, it's supposed to be. Held in a shade. Awesome. Yeah, I'm running a vocal chain through there, so yeah, definitely did show some clipping, but what you can see here is everything's fine. It recorded in much differently. I didn't adjust that vocal chain to some of the higher notes, so when we do proper recording, because I'm currently in a sitting position, it gets hard to maintain certain notes and to hold that because your breathing is really smashed by your torso being wedged into a chair position. But yeah, people can make it work. We can make it work. Alright, so let's bring some of those things in. What I'm going to start doing is layering that together. Part vocal stuff is how I kind of write all these things together, so. Just run through each take as it goes through. We already know that one. Don't know how I feel about that listening back to it. Next one. What I will do though is I'm not going to do such a severe thing over this. We'll relax that out. Key we're currently in, I believe it is D sharp minor. Let's have a look. Alright, roll down. Every moment you're for every sound you get for every moment when you seem to get away. Just gonna bring this high stuff. Just gonna turn my speakers up a bit. That live feel's gonna happen again. My apologies. That's solid. Pretty expected, but that's okay. We did some better takes than that, I believe. Just try this last one. So I'm just going to listen to the verse and the chorus, and then I'm just going to rotate through what I feel like's got to be there. Oh, Wiggo, thank you so much. Pleasure again. Thank you so much for making time in your day. I hope your day goes awesome. And your French learning goes even awesomer. That's really bad English, so don't do that. But thank you so much. I'll see you around. Every woman that
away. You're only love. 'Cause you gotta believe in love.
Sorry, back to the verse again.
And every moment pass, and every heart you bless.
Go to the chorus quickly.
Stop now, 'cause you better believe in love. Every moment of my life, every moment that you live, it's only love. Every moment you're falling, every sound you get falling, every moment when you all you seem to get.
Okay.
Believe in love, every moment that you take, every moment you're away, it's only left. 'Cause you gotta believe in love, every moment away, every moment you're away, it's only love. It's only love, it's only love, it's only love. 'Cause you gotta believe in love, one moment you're away, it's only love, it's only love. 'Cause you gotta believe in love, don't stop now, give it you all my time.
What am I doing? I'm trying to figure out really quickly what vocal to kind of stick in here. And I'm struggling between halftime and the double time mentality and just where that kind of sits. We will, like, I think there's a pocket of slowing the track down, and so we can kind of introduce our own kind of theme through there. There is this intro verse that suddenly arrives here that has the same vibe as this. So I'm like, whatever I choose, I feel like I want to foreshadow it just a little bit into that moment, so we're not wasting any time of getting people familiar with what's coming up. And then there's a couple of takes in there that I really like. I don't mind this one at all. So I like the height and the low in that, and it kind of feels like kind of follows suit with a nice variation. Same. That one I don't. It's okay. That's same melody as the last one I played, except we've kind of delayed out the run. So this is the first take I did. Maybe it's a combination of the two. that stronger.
Sitting in the heat of the heart of the shade.
I think I want to use this one instead. I'll get rid of this honking in the background. And then I want to just throw this other high part that I had right at the end into this last channel here. Alright, let's just settle. Let's just go with that one. I think the combination between the two is really interesting. I don't really need it to repeat too much. Last thing I want to do, Wigo won't be around for this, but I do want to put a slight arpeggiation through this and have a listen to what that feels like together as well. Oh no, did I just do that? That was a bad choice. When your clicks go crazy. Alright, let's just get in. I feel like I might create this variation over this road setup instead. It's really nice that those. And I'll get rid of the main vocal part that I just recorded. So not too ARPy, but some instruments in there. Slight variation on that. I think I want to honor the chord structure a bit more. This will go to F, C sharp, and this will go to E. Jewel, how you doing this evening or morning? Switch this around to the A. Oh, actually, I do want this to sit here, and this guy's going to go down here. This one's going to go right down. Jill says, doing fine. Nice mellow track you got there. Thank you. It's a bridge moment that we've got. So I might do an octave bump on this. I'm gonna invert this, that's just ridiculously too high. We'll do 2. Ends up playing 2 D sharp notes there. Well, if that's the case, then I'll just do that. Okay, well let's just unmute. Alright, now that that's kind of built out a bit more, I'll just create some structure into it. I'll bring in this dropout that starts first. So I definitely want something to be in there vocally. Let's try this high part. It's too high. No. Scarab's pointing out I seem to always put a lot of reverb on my voice. It's ethereal man, said Jewel. Scarab. So there's all different types of vocalists, and I'm a vocalist who for me to get the right tones and the right sounds, I drown my voice in reverb. Then when I work with mixers, we focus on getting where it sits and the energy of it, and then we build structure around it, which is really lovely. Then that's what you're supposed to do. But I work with other vocalists and they cannot sing with any effects on their voice. They just want it dry. Does my head in, but for me, putting delay and lots of reverb somehow makes me sing in the right tones, and it makes me hear my voice a little bit different. So it's a total matter of taste. And in this case, with this vocal specifically, I'm throwing it as far away back to it. So yeah. Hello here for Hunz. Hans is saying that my vocals have built-in reverb. The trick is to deverb my voice. That's great. Yeah, Skyrim, if you get to work with different vocalists, it's really interesting. Yeah, they just have different ways. I have another vocalist that's really different as well. She needs you to scoop out the between 5 to 6K, and it's like a really big scoop. And like when she's doing her vocal takes and she's just singing, that frequency range peaks in her voice and it hurts her ears. And so we scoop it out, and then she's like, "Yep, it's all fine." And I didn't even know how she began to sing, if that was, you know, the tones that were coming out at the same time. So, but once you kind of adjust to all of those things, it's all really cool. Jules saying there's a modern Vox effect that I'm wondering if I've ever tried. It's dynamically stereo expanding on some tones, or whenever the Vox fades out, I think it becomes very modern, encompassing, and it could fit your voice. I haven't tried that, but I think I know what you're saying. Is it? Are you sending certain frequencies basically out to a widener? And then kind of working from it from there. So for instance, if I was to do it, and we kind of rush through this, if I dual this track, and I'll just use this this imager, and say we go straight to this vocal take here.
Yeah, oh my, oh my, oh.
And then I do a send, and I do the multi-band send instead, and I just basically peak out the bottom end, and let's just focus on these high-end tones. So this will be super extreme. I've never done that before, but it sounds pretty sparkly and magical. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll grab frequencies, and like I've done it with this bass tone, I'll just go straight over to it actually. So this bass tone's made up of 2 components. And you'll see here that I've slightly stereoed just the low end of it, and then on this high end I've slightly monoed it more. So I do a little bit of that, like when I'm kind of working around with sound, but I've never done it to a vocal before. That's really neat.
Mountains and mountains and mountains of gold. Every moment pass, every heart we bear. Mountains and mountains and mountains of gold. Stop, oh, give
Yeah, the song is about pretending to be happy, I guess, is what this song is really all about. When you should really connect with it and be in those moments to get over it instead of prolonging. So this is like really what you're feeling, what your tone is. Have to work on that synth. I live in love every moment I'm away. And then this is a bit we're working on now. I don't mind that this really awkwardly overhangs. There's something about it because the beat is so trippy, like it trips over itself. And now I'm slowly just bringing in this kind of other bit. So that's what I'm messing with now, and I'm sitting here listening to it and I'm like, I need to create a little bit of distance, I think, between finishing this part up. I think that bridge is super interesting. Not convinced. That is another way of me saying that. I've got some other vocal takes in here too. Every moment you're falling, every sound you get for, every moment when you seem to get away. Every moment you're falling, every sound. Let's try this one. I don't mind that one, but it's just so on point. That one feels more connected. That's what I decided to use for the second part of it, and this is a high part. Jewel, I'll ask you a quick question here. You seem way more theory driven. So this is the evil chord you're talking about. And you're saying a blues note, just a pass or beat diatonic. So that's the fifths roll out. That will be. I think that's what you're saying. Scarab is asking, will there be a physical version of this album? I hadn't planned on it. I was gonna do a digital thing on there. But you're the third person to ask. I think Fanukum was asking for vinyl, and another person was asking for vinyl as well, which is something that once I've kind of got all this in place, I'll start exploring it out. If it was a physical version, Scarab, what would you like, or what were you thinking, like vinyl? And Jill came in with, oh, I meant the box. It's weird, like you're kind of doing this in real time, and then at the same time you realize, hey, I think there's like maybe a 5 to 10 second delay between me saying stuff and you guys responding. But I actually don't mind this chord fix up here at the same time. I was kind of not, like, I don't mind the E on there, but let me just try this. Klein Thaz, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Yeah, but Hunz showing me some love. There will be a physical version. It will be platinum on Hunz's wall. So much, mate. Thanks so much, man. I think I want to do with this actually. Seems like listening to it on repeat has given me a different appreciation for it. Give me a second. I will ignore chat for a little bit as I try and get this together. Run up, or I'll try down to begin with. Let's get these roads back in. I'm just going to amp these up a little bit. Tactic, if you're watching, what would be really cool is if I set a volume here with 50. It would be great that the instrument might take on that volume, because for instance with this Rhodes instrument, it's super awkward for writing because the tone is really in the velocity. Thank you. This has been suggestions for renoise. Oh, let's get out of time. Whoa. I have nothing on these guys too. I have not even started messing with these. Sorry about this. Oh, Klein. This is called Renoise. It's a tracker-based thing. It was kind of made during the computer game era to help people fully save instruments or samples into actual files, and therefore when it was played back across multiple devices from like Nintendo, Sega devices, and even your PC, that all the instrumentation was completely interpreted correctly, and the playback was right. During that time they used a lot of MIDI instrumentation, and each card, like if you said, hey, use the flute, the Mega Drive's flute was different to the SNES's flute, was different to the PC's flute. So people got really tired of their music being shifted in format. So this was kind of invented to kind of pack together all the samples so the intention of the artist was spent. Kind of grew and grew and grew. It became a way of writing music, and now this is called Renoise, and it's a DAW that's fully like outputs, works with modern day sound cards. I use it a lot live and all that other stuff, and works with VSTs and VSTIs and all that other stuff. So yeah. Small workaround, you can say that. Sorry, I just read something that Jewel. Small workaround, you can set default velocity at the top of Renoise windows. It says val there. Sorry, I'm freaking out. I'm guessing that's octave. That's velocity. Oh, what? Does that mean that when I press the note, it triggers the same as well? Tactic. If this works, we'll forget that ever happened. Oh. That just changes a few things, but it is a bit of a hassle, isn't it? Now it's writing 50 the whole entire time. But you know what? That is literally the best, a really great workaround, because there's nothing like, especially when you're using the roads, and then at its 7F velocity, you're just like, yeah, that's the ticket, and you're trying to still be in the moment, and it's just punching out that note because it's got so much goodness at that top value. So I'm gonna try and bring a theme into this to kind of roll with it, but let me just copy over some of this note information, because I really didn't realize that the bass was not getting damaged by the volume changes yet, and a bit of vibrato. I feel this will benefit. Oh, thank you, Lounge Lizard, that's nice. Yeah, Klein's asking, this has no piano roll. I use this. Just use a regular keyboard, so when I'm pressing notes. Well, let's see if I can do this live. I'm in the wrong channel. This is going to do nothing. Here we go. Where's my quotes? No, it just wrote some things in there. Oh, I'm in the wrong channel. That's not going to make any noise at all. And then we'll put it out of edit mode. Every morning you like to brush your teeth. That was a song called Every Morning You Like to Brush Your Teeth. It's a good habit to get into as well. Alright. Let's get back into this song. Thanks for the questions, clients. I'm tired. Can anyone tell? Nah. Everything's fine. I'm acting perfectly fine. So I think I need to apply a bit more pressure through these notes. Yeah, and there we go. There's the 50 problem. Yeah, delay's definitely clashing. You watch me just ignore that too, Jewel. Like, I will focus so hard on something else, like my ear just goes, oh yeah, I'm only worried about bass right now and I'll fix that up later. I'll do a little dive off the end of this as well, so we'll do the note down a little bit. And I'll drop this down the octave. Jules like, just feel free to ignore me. Okay, done. But you have really good advice here and there, so I'm just like, can't miss out on some of the gems. So of course that monotonous thing going on, that is not going to be happening. That is just too irritating. I think I really want to slow this down, so let's just do that. Not feeling that. Let's go back to these more erratic-y ones. I'm going to change this up and start on the root note instead. Get rid of that note. What are you doing, man? A classic run up. So I'm just gonna slightly shape some of these chords to fit. So I'll put this here. I think I'm happy with this guy. Passing note in between. Actually like that. That we'll just play with a bit. B and D. I might just resolve that out. I'm gonna change the bass note on this one here. Might drop that down to the E. No, let's not do that. Let's keep it there. gonna quickly jump into record mode, and I'm just gonna lay something in there. Got a different melody, and I'm hoping it unlocks the other side that I'm not really feeling. Alright, let's get this in place. Just turn my speakers down. Boop. Alright, jump into record mode. I'll talk to you guys in a sec.
Check.
Alright, I'm gonna put the speakers back on. You're going to experience more of a lively sound. You're gonna have to deal with that. Just gonna drop those vocals in. I'm gonna test them over the last little bits I did. I feel like that feels more connected with what's going on, so we'll put it together. Even more chipmunky. Alright, we'll need to clean that up because I'm not singing correct. Try over these other chords. Actually, I'll just save off this other melody that we've got here as well. This one's got the E in it. Thank you, Jewel. Appreciate it. Alright, another different take here. As you can tell, I don't like to resolve things. Super interesting. I wish I kind of felt that more. I actually like that rhythm better. Jules saying, I don't think I've ever finished a chord progression on 5 yet. Yeah. Oh, awesome, man. Jules saying that's good inspiration. I actually like the 2 variations in the setup for that. Okay, now that we've got kind of more of a shape for that, I'm just going to turn on this other channel. Alright, I just need to figure out what's going on. That's what I want. So it harps on that, and then it cleans itself up. And at this point here, I'm gonna be very purposeful about this. What are you doing? What's on you as a channel? Okay, you're just ascend.
You jump out and feel more.
Okay. Let's grab this.
You jump out and feel. You jump out and feel
I'm really gonna uniform the chords through this section. I just want it to, I do want it to be cliche, but also with heart. And I don't think I'm going to do this idea of this chord kind of rising. And if I do, I'll make it faster. How about that? We'll keep these really bright. Variate it off that one. Gonna slight wobble these as well, just slight. And do a backward sample down the bottom. Why not? And I'm gonna slightly detune these just by hand on the end here. We'll do the same on the rise on this side. YouTube, yep. Not too fond of that one on there. And then the last thing I need to do is to straighten this guy out. just need to get a little bit down. I can put that passing note in. I don't think I've upbeat the octave yet. I think I'm going to do something. I wrote this other really joyous flute part, and I just want to pay my respects to the demo scene with this. But I want to bring it in really tastefully. So. So I'm going to bring this in and just hear what it feels like. I think my inner Radex is coming out, if you know who he is. Might just hit that same note but flex it. Just need another channel for that, won't we? Oh no, I'll kill that. We'll go down and we'll go down. Whoop, this much and then do this. I'll do that on the actual note. It has gone weird, hasn't it? Actually, I'll just move that down. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that. I don't know how I like it. Just quite yet, all coming in together. It feels like everything all comes on at once, but I do definitely want to have it in there. It means a lot to me, so. And I think, and if this is, and this kind of is, if this song is a reflection of kind of my my tones that I've been going through, this whole lead and some other things in here, like when I was younger, listening to that music or the demo scene music was some of the things that lifted me out of some of the sadder times of my childhood. So I really feel connected with it, but if I do it, I really want to make sure it's just not tacked in there, and right now it just feels like it suddenly arrives. So I've got to make a decision, and I guess the decision is probably to ditch the vocals through here and bring in this lead line and make it something. And that might really be it. And then this is the irony of that is, you know, I kind of put vocals into mods, which people didn't really think was demo scene related music. And in a moment where I can choose to sing, I'm just going to put a lead straight back in there. But I really like that. That feels really connected. So how do we manage that? What I'll just do now is I'll loop this right from the beginning of this part and just have a listen. I don't think it comes in right away. We just shut that down. And maybe here. And I'll mess with the melody a little bit more. Alright, and we'll roll this down the octave just to start with so we can get to a good place. I'll leave that in. Just ignore the melody a little bit now. I'm just getting the sections in place before everything else at the moment. For instance, that note. And I really feel like we'll just really pump the emotion in there. I have to play with that a ton. Alright. That's a really good spot. So I'm starting to hit the dual right. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. I think kind of sparsely putting it around, and what I need to do when my ears are a bit fresh, I think I'll figure out this balance between the two, maybe with the vocal in this as well. But I think just pulling little moments out of this will be really pretty, and then we'll just come back to the chorus. And I feel like this is what's cool about it. I think this melody works straight over this chorus. Let's just have a look. Apart from that note. So I feel like I could kind of have this happy unison at the end between this melody, this demo scene kind of melody come in. Yeah, that's gonna be great. What I'll do is I will bounce this down from where we've got it right now. Oh, thanks. Just unselect that because I gotta hit the Z's. But I will be back early in the morning, my morning, to do this process and have lots of ear breaks during the day as well. So I'll save the song as, and I'll do a quick wrap up with you guys. It's been such a pleasure to do this evening. What song was this? Was this song 5? 10? I was way off. Nope. Wow. Well, we got through a bit. Oh, well, actually, did we just do one song? So, I think I did. I'm recording 11 songs. So, I can probably cut one out of the process. I think I know which one it's going to be. It's the one that feels like it's ripping off all of the trip up songs all at once. It's kind of not my favorite. The mood in it's really nice, and I might use it as a kind of bridge between songs, but we'll see how we go. But man, that was a really nice session. We made, did you see 2 random people came in, and if you're still around, you're awesome, because they were super interested in what I was doing in terms of a tracker, so that's so great. Keen Sky, you missed, I don't know when you jumped on, but we were talking about Anuka before, and I wanted you to chime in and talk about some of the instrumentations that she was using, because it's so beautiful. There's these huge trumpets, like traditional trumpets that she uses. But anyway, have a good night here for Hunz too. I'll get some sleep, and I will, I'm doing a solid 2 days worth of streaming, and I will get into vocal takes, which I'll have to split up. I do have to set that up correctly, and I will be using a different mic here, I believe, and hopefully I get that resolved really quickly. And then this will kind of be standing back over here, or somewhere over here, so that I can go and stand up. And I got a second camera that I borrowed from my friend, and hopefully we can set up that setup. If it starts feeling really uncomfortable, I might mute stream or something. I haven't really figured it out. I do want to do that process, but sometimes doing vocal takes is really weird. It's like such a weird thing, and then you get really self-conscious. So it's a really interesting experience doing this for myself as well, where people are watching me do this, and I feel like I'm kind of performing, but I'm also being myself at the same time. And I definitely don't, you know, I'm a bit more shy with my production, and I don't really share it around, so this is really different in a good way, like, yeah. So we'll see how we go with vocals. I'm a very shy vocal taker because I get pretty emotive during that, so we'll see how we go. Jules like, no fear, we all wear our hearts on our sleeves. I know. I think one morning I got up and I did a stream and I just started crying because it's a song and I don't know how I'm gonna sing it. I don't know how I'm gonna sing it. But we'll see how we go. I kind of like, you know, there's just some things that you just can't, you can capture, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Heart on the sleeves. I feel like I'm in good company, so it's not like there's a bunch of people just you know, being turds, I guess is the word I'd use. Alright, thank you so much for hanging around, and I hope you have a good day, good evening, good night, and look after yourself today, wherever you're at. Thank you so much.
Supposed to be